Do I see a telly light?
The Dutch angle.
It's a Dutch angle.
I had a blast at IBC 2023. I've seen lots of interesting things, and in this video we're gonna have a look at two products that I'm particularly excited about. I've put chapter markers in so you can skip to the bit you're interested in. I had a chat with interesting people
I'll cut it out.
like PhotoJoseph, Darren Mostyn, and Daria Fissoun. And I wanted to share it with you. I also decided to step out of my comfort zone and interview some people. Now, I have interviewed people before, but in those cases I was behind the camera, nice and comfortable and prepared. At IBC, I decided to do some improvised interviews with me on camera as well, which was a challenge. So watch and learn from my mistakes. But there's also an exciting announcement in this video, so make sure to watch the video for that. Let's start with my compact camera and audio setup I came up with for this international broadcast convention. I decided to bring my GH6. That decision was mainly based on my audio and timecode setup that I wanted to have, but I also thought I would want to shoot some higher frame rates, which I didn't do in the end. The lens I used was the Panasonic 12-60 f2.8 to f4, which is the widest relatively compact lens that I have. And I can tell you now, not the best setup. More about that later. For audio, I think I had a pretty good setup. I had my Deity D4 Mini on top of the camera, and the output of my full-aim X5 wireless receiver was going into the extra input on the Deity. And I wired myself with a lav mic going into my Tentacle Track E. On the left side, I had a Tentacle Sync connected to the timecode port of the camera. With this Tentacle setup, I didn't have to worry about recording my own voice, because that was going into the Track E, which is a 32-bit float recorder, and I would just sync it up with timecode in post. I used one full-aim X5 transmitter on the person I was interviewing, and because that was plugged into the Deity, I had the X5 audio on one channel and the Deity on the other. So I had redundancy in case something would fail with the wireless audio, which would prove itself really useful later. I shot everything in Full HD 25p in Vlog and mostly handheld, and I let the ISO do its own thing, which is something I normally wouldn't do. All of it was shot with the 12-60. This was great and not so great at the same time. I love that lens, but for vlogging style stuff, it's way too heavy in combination with the GH6, as you will be seeing later. I really want the 9mm f1.7 for this type of work. You probably know that I usually shoot Vlog and color grade the footage in DaVinci Resolve. So a while ago I asked Daria Fissoun if she wanted to come on the channel and talk about color workflow for Vlog in Resolve. As you can imagine, she is a very busy person. But at IBC I got the chance to talk to her at the Blackmagic booth.
So I'm here at IBC with Daria Fissoun, and we just had a chat. Would you be willing to do a collaboration?
I would love to do a collaboration.
Yeah.
Let's talk color management.
Let's talk color management for Vlog in particular.
I want to take a look at that Vlog footage you're going to send me, and then we'll work through it together and come up with a solution for the best possible setup on DaVinci Resolve. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
So thank you, Daria, and looking forward to it.
Me too.
Right.
All right, thank you.
She is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to color management in Resolve and Resolve in general. It's going to be a really interesting video, so keep an eye out for it. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I started live streaming as well. I really enjoy live streaming and setting the stream up and explore the possibilities. OBSBOT reached out to me to see if I wanted to review their latest 4K pan-tilt zoom streaming camera, and that grabbed my attention. I've got a review coming up with 3 of these cameras, but also went by their booth at IBC.
So we're here at IBC at OBSBOT's booth, and they have a new product called the Tail Air. It's currently on Kickstarter. you're going to show me what it does, what's new. So tell me a little bit about the Tail Air. What's different to the previous products?
Okay, so
What's special about it?
yeah, okay, so this is OBSBOT Tail Air, if you can see it, and it's a 4K PDZ streaming camera. Is designed for streamer or content creator, something like that. You can look at the tiny size of this product, almost just like a bottle of water. Yeah, so it's pretty portable. Yeah, and also we have put a lot of different kind of AI features inside it. For example, I will show you this. It can check person. Now it's checking me.
All three of them.
Yeah, all three of them are checking me. How I do that? I only need to use this gesture. Yeah, after the camera detect this gesture, it will start or cancel the checking. Yeah, so it's pretty good. And also for streamer, we also made the OBSBOT Tail Air support NDI. And here, this setup here is an NDI setup with cable connection because the show here the too many network.
Yeah, too much Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And you can see the latency here is pretty good, lower than 0.2 seconds. And also we have a little remote controller to control all these three cameras. Each remote controller can control up to 3 cameras. You can see it. Do you see that this camera is moving like this?
So you not only have like gesture and tracking control, but also manual control.
Yeah. And also we have an app. We have an app to control all the image setting or checking or the footage you shot. Yeah, and you can just stream out your image to YouTube, Facebook via the app. Yeah.
And it also has like internal recording capabilities, right? With an SD card, micro SD.
Yeah, you got a SD card and camera inside it. Yeah, so you can not only use it for streaming, but also for recording a video.
Yeah, and it also has a built-in battery, right?
Yeah, the battery can hold for 2.5 hours. Yeah, but because it's USB-C power supply cable, so you can just use a power bank. Yeah.
Power bank or V-mount that has USB-C, very portable. Currently, the app is only for Android available.
Yeah, because it's not final product yet.
Pre-production.
Yeah. It's almost time. The iOS version is coming soon, maybe on October.
Well, I have my copy in my bag for review, so that will be up soon.
Stay tuned for the review because I'll also be showing use cases other than streaming. As a Lumix shooter, I also watch other Lumix related channels. PhotoJoseph's channel is one of them and also happens to be a Lumix ambassador. So I reached out to him to see if I could ask him some questions at IBC. Lots of things went wrong during this interview. It was also extremely noisy there. So again, watch and learn.
I'm here with PhotoJoseph on IBC 2023. I'll put a link to his channel in the description, of course. And I want to welcome PhotoJoseph to Europe because he recently moved to Slovenia.
That's right, I did.
I wanted to ask him, why is he a Lumix ambassador?
Why Lumix? Well, when I met up with some people from Panasonic.
So remember me saying that the redundancy would come in handy? Well, I forgot to turn on the X5 wireless transmitter. But I still had the Deity, even though I had to apply some really heavy noise reduction and EQ, and I've put subtitles on. At least there's still audio. So this goes to show how important redundancy is.
I was shooting with Lumix at the time. I was shooting with a few different things, but I was shooting with Lumix. Already knew the brand and knew the cameras and really enjoyed them. It was, I had started my transition into Micro Four Thirds from Canon full frame to Micro Four Thirds, going Olympus first and then into Lumix, and just really loved the brand. And when I met the crew there, and we talked for probably a year, and they eventually invited me onto the team. That was a really nice thing to be welcomed to.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
since you love the camera, you stick with it. And like I said, I've been doing it for 8 years. I think I've been an ambassador, something like that, 7, 8 years.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
It's fun.
And I'm not a vlogger, so
It's okay. It's the Dutch angle.
it's a Dutch angle.
appropriate, right?
Exactly.
There
Yeah,
you go.
exactly.
See, now I know
exactly.
why it's called the Dutch angle.
Yeah,
right?
that's why. The G9 Mark II just came out.
G9 Mark II did just come out.
What people are going to buy the G9 Mark II? Like,
Okay.
who's it for?
So it is a primarily stills focused camera. It is marketed and targeted at the stills photographer. Even though it does have a lot of high-end video features, there are things missing that the GH6 has that it doesn't for video. So, if video is your game, it'd be a good camera to buy if you're in Micro Four Thirds and you want that phase detect autofocus, but you're missing out on things like time code, raw output, that sort of thing is not on the G9. But as far as who it's for as a still photographer, especially action photographers, because the autofocus is so good, the animal tracking, that's phenomenal. So, really any still photographer can take advantage of good autofocus, but fast-moving stuff, sports, wildlife, that's a really
Yeah,
key.
wildlife is what I
Yeah.
thought of.
One of the nice things about Micro Four Thirds, as you know, is it's a 2x crop.
Because the setup was so heavy with the 12 to 60, I had to switch hands and knock the focus ring. I had absolutely no idea that I did this, so everything from now on is out of focus. Note to self, different lens, for sure. At least we still have audio.
Right? So
Yeah.
if you buy a 200mm lens, you're getting a 400mm equivalent,
Yeah.
which for wildlife photography is generally considered a very good thing.
Yeah, and also with the new 100 to 400 with the 2x teleconverter.
Right, exactly. So you look at that lens and the size and weight of that, and you compare it to an 800mm equivalent full frame lens. It's not something you're going to carry up a mountain to go
Yeah.
track down some birds. Like that's, yeah. So
Definitely.
that's really a nice thing about Micro Four Thirds.
Yeah.
Travel photography, I love Micro Four Thirds for travel because it is, again, smaller, lighter weight. Makes it a lot easier to carry a camera and a few lenses around than if it's all full frame. So, I love the full frame gear, but Micro Four Thirds is still pretty awesome.
It's great.
Very special.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Well, thanks for
Absolutely.
answering my questions.
Subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, and to his.
There's a link to his channel and the G9 Mark II video in the description. I'm also looking for another tripod and monopod. And after seeing a review by Gerald Undone of the YC Onion Pineta Peak, I decided to also go by their booth.
So we have spent nearly 4 years designing this product. Started the designing process back in 2019. And we spent the first 2 years designing the products and the past 2 years applying for patents. So the first patents that we have registered was back in 2021. And then we showed the first model at NAB 2022 and also at 2022 IBC. And then we have been upgrading this all the time. And we are currently now at the Model 3. So this is the newest model. It's all carbon fiber. The structure is totally different than the Sekla ones. The Sekla one, they have the flat tubes. And the mechanism inside is kind of like the system in the motorcycle, right? But this one, we managed to do that within a regular photo video tripod, which is like, as you can see, it's a round leg. So our first attempt was to do that with the monopod. We have released this monopod earlier this year, and it's a C. So we applied that to the tripod. So it's like the same mechanism, and we named it Facial Release System. And we have our own patent for that. It's perfect for wedding photographers, wedding videographers, because they usually use the gimbal. So you can attach the gimbal on top, and every time you need to shoot, you can just like carry it away and shoot, and then put it back on to get some rest. So it's like it's a perfect combination to use it with the gimbal. And also we've got like a quick release at the bottom. So you can also use your camera, put your camera on here, do like a mini tripod. Yeah. We also got a extension tube. This is the extension tube to go with it. You can use it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it's nearly 2 meters tall. And you can mount a gimbal on that to do like a fake drone shot. Like
Oh, that's awesome. I think it's a really great design. Cool.
Overall, IBC was a great experience and very useful for the channel and for my work as a videographer. I had a blast doing this, so let me know if you enjoy videos like this and maybe I'll do it more often, or at least once a year at IBC. I hope to see you next time.